After the millennium, the village began to get, what we can say, all around here where I am, the herring yards were finished. And then they sold up and they got into secondary housing.
Look, all I can say is the locals are going to be extinct shortly. Simple as that.
Recently, a lot of the houses have gone for second homes, and more they're becoming investments. They're not being lived in all year round. They're not even belonging to one family who come here for holidays. They're very expensive houses now. This is Harbour Road in Beadnell, which is next to the beautiful Beadnell Bay. It's a really popular destination for holiday makers, and a lot of the houses are second homes. Very few are lived in all year round. Second home, second home.
Hi, I'm Ian Clayton. I'm the chairman of the North Sutherland Seahouses Development Trust. I think it's very important that our development trust here does what its name suggests, which is to develop and promote the village of Seahouses and the surrounding areas. And one of the most important aspects, I think, here now at the moment, that's starting to come to the fore, is the problem of trying to identify premises that can be used as affordable housing. It's important that this village, for its survival, continues to promote tourism, but it's also very important that we provide suitable accommodation for those people who live and work in Seahouses. And they're currently finding themselves disadvantaged by the fact that a lot of people are coming from outside of the area, and they're very welcome to this area, I have to say. But the problem is, as is happening in many other places, that they're buying up all of the available housing, and they're buying it up at a price which makes it totally unaffordable for the average working person in Seahouses in Bamburgh and Beadnell.
Majority of them through there are holiday homes or are let out, or second homes. Holiday home, I'm not sure about that one.
I'm Audrey Fitzsimmons. I've lived in the village since 1970, and for 16 of those years I ran the village post office here. And my husband was the schoolmaster at the school in Seahouses, in the middle school, for 25 years. So my family have grown up here. And my family, two of my family, I've got four, two of them live in Seahouses with their families. But I have got a son here, and he would like to stay in the area. And because he's on he's a low-wage owner, he can't afford to buy a place here. And this is what I feel is needed in Bamburgh. Since the council houses are sold off, there's no rented property for low-wage earners, as there was when the council houses were vacant.
I believe that's a holiday home. I believe that's a second home. Second home, somebody lives in that one where the car is.
I think the Regional Development Agency needs to be encouraged to recognise that affordable housing has a very important impact on communities. You know, we're looking at Seahouses and Beadnell and Bamburgh. We're looking at communities where they haven't got so much as a beating heart anymore, because a lot of houses are used as holiday lets. They're not actually living communities anymore. And that has an impact on schools, that has an impact on jobs, that has an impact on employment. You know, that has a real regenerational impact across the whole spectrum. So I think getting the Regional Development Agency to recognise that affordable housing is key and central.
Majority of these are second homes. Some of them are let out on a weekly basis. And then as we come up here again, the ones in the middle are occupied, but the rest are holiday homes. Brand new development, our latest development, and I think nearly all of those, I can't think of anybody that I know that lives in there all year round.
private developers have come along and built relatively large developments in sea houses, for example, where there's been no control over future occupancy, and there's been no obligation placed upon the developer for affordable housing, which if you'd been in Harrogate, for example, you would have had to provide 50% of all of those units as affordable homes.
When the councils allow a development centre like the one down Harbour Road there to be developed, I don't know, there's over 40 houses being built. I believe only about 3 went to people who want to live there permanently, and the rest have all been sold for holiday homes, but that's, I blame the council for allowing that to happen.
I'm Northumberland County Councillor Pat Scott. I represent the Bamburgh ward on the County Council, and that covers the 3 villages of Beadnell Seahouses and Bamburgh. And although the County Council isn't the housing authority, Berwick Borough Council is the local housing authority, we do have a strategic overview about affordable housing. And I think my interest has stemmed from people coming to my council surgeries to talk about the difficulties they have of accessing affordable housing within our area. And what I do see is 3 different problems for the 3 villages. In Beadnell, at this present moment in time, there are only a couple of young people who actually live in the village itself. And so, as has been said before, it's very much trying to draw young people, young families back in to make it a vibrant village that it was many years ago as well. They've lost their village school, they've lost one of their shops, and it is a real worry that that community is not going to be dead completely in the winter months.
I went to school here in Beadnell, and when I was younger there was a big community. Used to go around on the bicycles and knock on people's doors, and you know, you're coming out to play type of thing, but there's none of that anymore because there's no young ones. The ones that are knocked upon now have had to move out to other places, where Newcastle, Alnwick, everywhere else, bar here, because they can't afford the housing. It's just such a shame, because if it continues like this, there's only going to be sort of old people who have had second homes here before and moved and retired to them, that is going to be left in Beadnell. So it's a lovely place to be in the summer because you get like a lot of tourists, but they're not locals and they don't know anybody else. But is, I would say, probably one of the worst places to live in the winter because there's nobody, there's no one around.